Are we recording everything?
We're recording everything.
Okay.
Hi there.
Hey, baby.
Hi, baby.
So I have notes on my phone that we're going to use to start this off. But first, we can say hi to our audience.
Hi, audience.
Our listeners. We're not sure what we're going to call this yet. So it might be, let's do it. Let's do that. Let's do this.
We're good. Let's do this.
You ready to go?
I'm ready.
The first thing I think we should do, just to set the tone and make sure we're on the same page, is to say what we want to get out of this. And maybe we won't use this footage, but I think that it will be useful at least to say sort of what some of our goals are.
Okay. I'll go first. So what I would like to get out of this is more connection with you, joy, and satisfaction of developing and growing this podcast together. I think it's going to be so much fun. It's already been so much fun. In terms of goals for this podcast, I think we're going to learn a lot about ourselves and each other. And hopefully our audience will learn some things along the way as well. And I think we're going to discover what this is all about as we go. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some of my goals, very similar. I think I'm also very thankful that we can do this together because I don't know the technical aspects like you do. So you're kind of like making one of my dreams come true, baby.
Baby.
I definitely think that connecting with each other and getting to know each other in a different way, because it's like creating something together, which I think we do anyway, but this is going to be in a new way where we truly combine our experience and our expertise that we've built, me just in general with talking, I guess.
Yeah, I think our skill sets complement each other beautifully.
Yeah, you're really good at all this, and you also have the same expectation for excellence that I do. So I know that it will be very beautifully produced and we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
And then I also just want to inspire other people. I think part of the YouTube channel that I started really was meant to inspire people and just sort of be a bright spot in the internet. So this is kind of a extension of that, but together.
Check out Bright Eyed Smiles when you can.
Myself and Jonathan both have YouTube channels that we've developed over the years. Jonathan's is far more successful than mine, and it's amazing. So check out Rather Be Riffin'.
Rather Be Riffin'. Guitar stuff.
Guitar stuff. My Bright Eyed Smiles, which is most likely where you're watching this, is more geared toward self-development, self-improvement, self-esteem, and I also have some affirmation tracks that you could watch that I'll probably improve. I'll probably re-record those now that we have good equipment to re-record them.
Now
But
that you have a personal sound engineer.
yes. And honestly, I wrote for one of my goals for this is that I would like it to be some sort of income producer. I don't think that's the main goal, but I hope that through its excellence and just being ourselves and being our natural selves and inspiring other people, that it could be good enough to really take off. So that is a goal. I want to be transparent.
Absolutely. It sounds great.
Okay, you want to move on to the second part?
Let's do it.
Okay, the second part, I figured, what are we most looking forward to this holiday season?
So what I'm most looking forward to this holiday season is honestly just quality time with you. I think it's already brought some extra magic. We celebrated Thanksgiving twice this year, once on our own in October and once with Rob and Mary, Rose's incredible aunt and uncle down in Florida. We just recently celebrated official Thanksgiving with them. And just really getting in the holiday spirits, hanging up Christmas lights around palm trees and enjoying eggnog together. And the holidays are just that much more special when you spend them with someone that you love and adore and have the best time with. So I'm really just looking forward to the quality time and enjoying the festive season with you.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think since we did get to celebrate Thanksgiving twice, because Jonathan hosted a Thanksgiving just for me in October of this year. And then, like he said, we got to go to Florida, and it was the best ever. Hanging Christmas lights around palm trees is something I never thought I would be doing. But it was so fun and magical. And an extension of that is now getting to do Christmas. And it's been, because we had our first Thanksgiving in October, the holiday season has felt extended. So it's already felt more magical somehow. But then getting to do it together and with one another's families, and especially your family, we have a little surprise that we're not going to mention on this podcast yet. We'll update you all after we have Thanksgiving with Jonathan's side of the family.
Somewhat of an experiment.
Yes. Which we're good at experiments.
We are.
We're pretty straight.
We're natural scientists.
We're natural scientists. We're both, you more so than me, good at going into a situation not knowing the outcome, hoping for the best, but not needing it to be that way. So
I can roll with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't work out, it's going to be, it's going to be hilarious. Yes. So we'll update everybody about that once it happens.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, just getting to do some of the Christmassy things that you've already planned for us, especially this week in New England, and some things that I've always wanted to do that I've never gotten to do here. So they're going to be extra special and magical with you.
Christmas at Old Sturbridge Village.
Yes, which Old Sturbridge Village is one of my favorite places. Other than the Big E.
I'll have to do some live footage from the Big E next year. Live stream.
We will actually probably have 3 different podcasts about the Big E. I think we should do a how to plan Big E, because you could literally plan for the Big E like people plan for Disney. Then we'll have to do a live footage from the Big E. And then we'll have to do a follow-up of what we would have done differently, based on our experience and the live footage.
Yeah.
We could do 3 whole podcasts on the Big E.
Done.
I think I'll probably mention the Big E every single time we have a podcast. I did already write it down in my notes of something that I would like to talk about.
Okay. Awesome. And
However,
what does the Big E actually stand for?
The Big E stands for the Big Exposition, and it is New England's biggest fair. It is the only state fair in the United States that combines states. It has every New England state represented, and it is a combination of like craft vendors and amazing food. If you consider
decadent delights,
waffle burgers that we had this past year. And it goes on for over 2 weeks in the September-October timeframe. It was canceled, I think, only once for COVID. And it's just a delightful experience that I happen to love. Anyway, the whole point of that was to say that Old Sturbridge Village is also a fantastic place, a very different place. It's kind of like an old-timey...
it's a historical vibe.
Historical, yeah. It's historical and
quaint historical New England.
Yes, and then for Christmas, they do something very special that I've actually known about for a while, but I've never gotten to experience. They have carriage rides, things like that.
Tomorrow night?
That's tomorrow? I thought we were going to Sorrowtown tomorrow. I thought we were going to Big E.
Night.
Oh! Okay, well, we get to do 2 very special, fun Christmas New England things, both in Massachusetts.
Indeed. Bright nights in East Forest Park.
Yes, that's with Sorrowtown.
Yes.
Am I saying that right?
You are saying that right.
Okay. It's in the Big E. That's in the Big E. The Big E is a location as well as a fair. We should mention that.
Yes.
If you go to the Big E, you're guaranteed to see us.
Fact.
Yeah, other than that, I think more eggnog. More Christmas jingles. Jonathan and I have both been working on our singing skills together.
We'll reveal that at some point in the future.
Maybe 2 years from now.
Or is that question 3?
That's question 3 is not to sing.
Okay.
But something we should mention that we have already sort of mentioned is that you are very musical.
Yes.
And I am learning to become musical.
And you're a fast learner.
So we probably will cover that here at one point when we get some more guitar lessons under my belt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and we have to mention that we got a mistletoe.
That was what I was going to add earlier, actually.
Okay, you were going to add that
I was going to add that, and then we got on a roll.
It's a little personal.
It is.
We'll see.
Especially when we're underneath it.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
But that is something that I've always wanted. And this is another area where Jonathan made my dream come true by getting me real mistletoe.
Hard to find, by the way. So we can drop a link down below as to where to find it.
I didn't know where he got it. But I will say, one of my friends down in North Carolina, her daughters got to go mistletoe hunting last year. And it actually grows in the tree. Did you know the story of mistletoe?
So you have to hunt it. So
it grows at the top of the tree. Do you know this?
No.
Mistletoe is actually very fascinating. We'll cover it at another time. But it grows at the top of the trees, and they went on a hunt for it, and they actually,
cool.
with hunting rifles, shot it out of the trees. Yes,
literally hunted it. Okay.
Yes, I have a wonderful picture.
I thought it was just like a faux pas word choice, but they're literally hunting it.
They're literally hunting it, and that's also why it is so difficult to find it, I think, because it's not like you can just grow it. I think it's very special conditions in which it grows. And there are many, many types and species of mistletoe, I believe.
Okay. Well, that's the mistletoe teaser. Deep dive coming up in a future episode.
Yes. Okay, now on to...
By the way, this is completely unscripted. I have no idea what these questions are.
Yeah, on purpose.
This is the rolling with it thing.
Well, also, I think this is a good balance because it's more genuine if you answer on the spot. Plus, you're good at that type of thing. In future episodes, I think we should do a word of the day. We could also do what we learned this week, because both Jonathan and I tend to be fact finders.
Avid learners.
I will not be sharing facts about the accounting classes I'm taking, but more so about interesting things, either about being healthy or things that we tend to pick up and learn along the way because we're always trying to improve ourselves. Luckily, we're not always trying to improve each other, because that could get pretty awkward pretty fast. But we share what we learn and what helps us and things like that. And it's actually really good.
We naturally inspire one another, I would say.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. Okay, so ready for the third part of the podcast?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do this. Let's do it.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
This part is meant to be very fun. It does not have to be rapid fire.
It's more fun than we're already having.
It could get rapid fire. Well, let's see. Maybe it'll be a dud.
Okay.
The other thing we should mention is the dud gift real quick.
Oh, I have a dud pile waiting me in North Carolina.
This sounds so ridiculous, but in preparation for Christmas, we have been buying and procuring gifts far in advance. And something that our audience should probably know is that I work in supply chain. I currently work in supply chain technology. However, as everyone most likely knows, the term supply chain, they might not know what it means, but because of COVID, most people know that supply chain ruined many Christmases, many holidays over the course of the last few years. During the pandemic especially, because people were out of things. You couldn't get things. You couldn't find things. Therefore, I wanted to ensure that any of the gifts that I particularly wanted to get Jonathan for Christmas would be absolutely available and wrapped before we do Christmas. So that resulted in buying a few things that, online, you don't always know what you're going to get. And when they came to me, these particular gifts, I was like, oh no, this is not the idea I had in mind here. So because Jonathan also tends to be more, I don't know what the term would be, but it's like, I don't know if Jonathan will also think that these are duds. He might open it and be like, this is something I've always wanted. And sort of the flavor, none of it is food. That's not giving anything away. But maybe he will actually like them. So instead of presenting them as gifts that I actually want to give, I have created a dud pile for Jonathan so he can open these duds after all the rest of the gifts.
That's like one level above coal. So it was somewhere between naughty and nice this year.
They're not meant to be coal gifts. They're meant to be, perhaps they are my not so much treasure, but you will actually appreciate them and like them. If not,
kind of like they're from the land of misfit toys. Like,
yes,
you know, somebody's got to love them. Probably me.
It's kind of like me. I'm kind of like from the land of misfit toys. Somebody's got to love me.
Check.
But yes, the dud pile. I actually think one of the things in the dud pile, I think that you actually are going to like, but it wasn't what I was thinking it was going to be. Anyway, so back to the potential.
Well, hold on here. I have a build. So I also started your Christmas shopping very early. One of the gifts that I really wanted to get you had a 6-week lead time.
6 weeks?
Yeah. And with us traveling so much, that was quite the logistical challenge to make sure I was here to sign for it when it finally arrived. And I can say it was a great success.
It's
I
not
think
a dud?
You're going to love it. It's not in the dud pile. I don't have a dud pile for you.
Maybe you should buy some duds just so I also have a dud pile.
You may create your own dud pile and we'll report back.
I'll just set things aside.
You'll just quietly create 2 piles and I'll just be sitting there going, oh, I hope the bigger pile's not the dud pile. Anyway.
That would be funny. We could do that. Well, it is logistically interesting because we do travel so often between different states. Yeah. Also,
we're going to remain mysterious.
We already mentioned we were in Florida. There's other reasons we go back and forth and things like this, but also both of our jobs require some travel. So you really never know where we're going to be.
Other than the biggie.
Other than the biggie. It's true. There will always be a time for the biggie. Yes, absolutely. And for those of you watching or listening that have been to the biggie, please comment down below because it could be controversial. Some people do not like the biggie. I know a few people who scoff at me when I mention it and my excitement toward it. They just don't understand.
Pure judgment.
And maybe the biggie will sponsor us.
Ooh.
We could be the spokespeople for the biggie.
We could.
I'm down for that. We can meet them. We'll meet them. All right. Are you ready for part 3?
Let's do this.
Okay. So this is a little bit of something I found, a little bit of inspiration from my channel incorporated into the podcast. Have you ever heard of a this or that list? Okay. Have you done this before?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to name 2 things and it's basically you choose one of them.
Okay. Let's just double check that didn't shut off. It's still rolling.
It's still rolling. Okay. Let's do this. Podcast 1, part 3, this or that. Get even or get over it?
Get over it.
It would also be interesting at a later point in time to do what we think the other person is going to respond.
Yeah, I have a guess as to what you would do. I think it's situational too. But I would say there's very rare instances where my reaction or response to something would be to get even. That could be a reaction when you're just like, I'm in an emotional state and just want to react. But
yeah,
I think reflecting on things and choosing a response that's going to be more healthy and helpful for oneself, typically getting over something works better. However, I think the nuance is
I also have
if things
to respond.
need to be said, you have to say them, or if wrongs need to be righted, like, you know, that doesn't mean some interaction doesn't need to happen, but an eye for an eye sort of mentality isn't necessarily my motto.
Agreed. I will also say that I was almost positive you would say get over it. Jonathan is much calmer, much more compassionate and empathetic than I will ever be in general.
Those are good compliments.
We are good compliments. I will also say that the nuance you brought up and sort of why I inserted something there that I also wanted to respond to this, is that I think there is a nuance to this. I am not the type of person to, what was the first choice?
Get even.
I'm not that person. I do, however, tend to be more confrontational and put it on the table. I won't just let it pass by. So it's not a get even. It's more like get to the bottom of it. But much less likely to just get over it than you are. Right? I think that's fair.
I'm going to smile and nod.
Maybe. But it's true.
It's true. It's accurate.
This is part of the reason why I think this podcast is going to be so fun, because we are good compliments for each other. And I will also say this, and I wanted to, you're probably going to hear me say this more than once, but I also do not believe there's a right or wrong to any of these, or really in general. I think in general, as far as personalities go, there's not a right or wrong. There's just a different. And that's what makes a relationship work, especially we recognize in each other what it is, right? So I think it's very helpful. I think, it's a compliment. It is a compliment each other.
Absolutely.
Okay. This or that. Have no internet or have no phone.
Have no phone. That's another easy one for me. You can communicate over the internet with people. And you can do so much more.
Yes.
Watch podcasts and YouTube videos like this.
Yes.
Or troll videos like this. No. I just opened the invitation. Anyway.
I am going to be trolled over the biggie. Let's just be real. However, this is an interesting one. I also think it's a generational one, because I think some people can't imagine internet without their phone.
Yeah.
So I think this one was meant to incite, if you have the internet but can't really access it without a phone. We obviously have other technology. We lived a while before the internet. Wild to think about, right?
Yeah, we're that generation that wasn't born into digital, but did have exposure to it as it emerged. So we're sort of analog digital hybrid, where I think generations after us grew up native digital, which is wild, right? A whole different thing.
Yes. Maybe we can have your niece on here one day and we can sort of
that'd be amazing.
Give a generational, because she loves YouTube too.
She does.
I also think that was something I was going to mention here, is that we've both embraced the internet. And we both appreciate it for what it is, and the creativity and the ability to research behind it and connect with other people.
Yeah.
I have a few friends I've made off the internet that I've never met in person. And I think that's pretty cool. And I would by far rather have the internet and no phone. I think both of us don't really use our phones that much
only to
either.
Talk to one another when we're apart, really.
Yeah,
I think if we pull up the analytics on phone usage versus internet usage, it'd be 99 to 1, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. This one is really interesting.
Okay.
Let me read it again and make sure I got it right. Okay. This or that. Be invisible or read minds.
This is a creepy question. So what's going through my mind here is I think there's a whole lot of shit you wouldn't want to know that's going through people's minds.
Agreed.
Right? So if it's if you can switch it on and off, maybe I'd lean that way. Or if it's just you're just stuck hearing whatever's going through everyone's mind all the time.
I think there's a movie like that.
Yeah, no way. When I was a kid, I always wanted to be invisible. So something about that appeals to my younger self.
Yeah.
But I think I've outgrown the invisibility thing. There's no use for that at this age. So I'll go with what was the other one? That?
Read minds.
Yeah, read minds. Yeah.
So I wasn't sure where this was really getting at, because this was just basically, I just found this on the internet, right? And I was thinking, is it be invisible so you can see what's happening? So if you compare the two things, it's like you're invisible so you can be in the room when people can't see you, and therefore you see what's happening. Therefore, it's similar to reading minds. You kind of have a backstage pass to what's happening in somebody's life.
Yeah, it's like both are giving you access to a version of reality that you wouldn't otherwise get to experience or may get filtered.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like the double slit experiment in physics. Will people behave or say the same things under observation?
Right. Now, if if you're invisible, people don't know you're there. If you can read minds, people might figure out that you're reading their minds.
Oh.
Right,
The plot
eventually.
thickens.
Because eventually they'd be like, I didn't tell you that. So I think it's an interesting one. I don't think I would.
What am I thinking right now?
I don't know. Maybe that you like enjoying this.
I am enjoying this.
I can say what I hope you're thinking. Yeah, this one was one I felt like I kind of outgrew as well. Yeah. I don't think I would want either. I sincerely enjoy and have really decided to enjoy the way life works as I understand it.
Yeah. I like having the option of being ignorantly blissful, but also the agency to
ask a question
and be curious and communicate and have a conversation with somebody if I don't know what they're thinking or how they're feeling. So
yes.
And then the invisibility thing, I don't know. Unless
it'd be
there
fun
was
to
like, a war or a home invader or some sort of dangerous situation you were trying to escape from, maybe that would be helpful.
I was going to go a lot less dark with that and be like, it'd be fun if you could carry around your guitar and be invisible and play it.
That would be fun. That'd make a cool video.
Do you remember when we saw that piano playing itself?
Oh yeah, player's
in the
piano.
waiting room.
Yeah,
but it would be
like a player's guitar.
Right.
Okay, I changed my mind. I'm going invisible. I think that would help grow my YouTube channel.
That would be incredible. Yes. Exactly. Okay, ready for the next one?
All right.
I did not read these beforehand. I was like, oh, the first one looks interesting. This is the one we're going to go with. Okay, so this or that. Be able to rewind time or be able to pause time.
I'll go with pause time.
Agreed.
Some moments you just want to last forever.
Yes.
Yes.
Speaking of mistletoe. Basically, if you want to rewind something, it's usually because you want to re-experience something or you would like to redo something differently. So you want to rewind and do it again. And I think in either situation, you can still do those things, but in the future. So let's say you wanted to relive an experience like me with the Big E, then I would just go to the Big E again.
Right. Yeah.
I wouldn't need to rewind it and go back and relive it. Yeah. I would just do it again.
Yeah,
so
I like that. Yeah. What came to mind for me is like two things. One is I associate the desire to rewind time is to like fix a mistake or a regret. And however, you may just make a different mistake or different regret, right? And life's about learning. So
yeah, exactly.
Just stay on the path you're on and continue to learn and grow. And then the other one's like Back to the Future plot, right? Where
I was just thinking Back to the Future.
I forgot the main character's
Marty
antagonist.
McFly?
No, the antagonist, Biff, maybe.
Yeah, he's like the
he went back,
blonde guy.
He got all like the sports winnings.
Yes.
He went back and gambled and became rich and stuff like that. So if you want a cheat path to wealth, I mean, there's certain appeal there.
Yeah,
but that
I also
feels
don't
dirty
believe in that
too,
either.
Right?
Yeah. Even in real life, I don't. Yeah. Even in the life that we cannot rewind and go back.
It lacks integrity.
Yeah. We'd rather create to have our winnings, if you will.
I agree.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
This or that.
That.
Actually, it's probably true. Be too hot or be too cold.
They both equally sort of suck.
I think I have a new answer.
I have an answer.
Okay.
I'd rather be too cold because that's easier to deal with than being too hot. Like once you get past a certain threshold of being too hot, like you can't cool down. You're just too fucking hot.
You are right. But you could also die from being too hot.
You can die from being too cold too.
You can die from being too cold.
Yeah.
But but too hot?
Yeah, so they both equally suck.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could die from being too hot.
No,
But
I don't know which threshold is more sensitive. I think probably overheating, you die faster. Like it requires less degrees Fahrenheit above average.
oh, we should look that up.
Yeah, because think about it. I mean, we go outside at minus 20 degree wind chill
Whew.
and we don't die. And that's like an average 70 degree day. That's
Thankfully.
90 degrees colder than average. But if it's 120 degrees outside, like you'll probably die of heat exhaustion pretty quickly. And that's only 50 degrees above the norm. But
Yeah.
my guess is we're more sensitive to overheating than underheating. Just a guess.
Yeah, this one's tough for me. I think previously I would have said I'd rather be too cold, but in recent times, I think I'd rather be too hot. There's just something about feeling like you're being baked that I really like. Because being in New England, it's much more likely that you will get cold. And then, as you now know, being in North Carolina feels like...
Ooh, state revealed.
I revealed my states on my
Yeah.
blog. But now that you've experienced the heat that exists in North Carolina, I think that it is different. The direct sunlight all year round feels much more like an oven.
Yes.
And at times I do miss that feeling. Like when you walk outside and immediately you're like, oh, this is hot. You know, I miss that sometimes.
And then when we go to sleep at night, you're reminded of that feeling when I...
That's the only time I'd rather be too cold. But I
Okay.
don't like to wake up cold.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fine balance.
And this is just fun. And this is just for fun. This is not wishes, dear universe. These
We're
are
not
not
trying to
wishes.
manifest any of this.
Okay. Next one. There's 4 more. Okay. Just for. Would you rather, or this or that, have a pet kangaroo or a pet koala? One can put you in its little pouch and one will hug you. If it was a true pet and they were civilized or whatever the word is, if they were like
Yeah. I've
not
got
wild animals, let's
I started off pretty torn here, but I have a clear answer now. So these would both be dream pets as a kid. I love both of these animals. Koalas were just ridiculously cute. And
I think they
kangaroos
actually are
just
too.
cool as hell. I mean, they
And they're
have
fierce.
a pouch. It's amazing.
And they can kick you and kill you with a
Well,
kick.
that's the reason why I would choose a koala as a pet. Less dangerous.
Well, coming from someone who used to have a horse, not necessarily as a pet, but I think kangaroos are dangerous. However, if they're your pet, they love you. It's a different vibe.
Have you ever seen the owners of like chimpanzees? Some of the shit that can happen.
Again, we're not actually going to do either of these things. So what I was thinking is it would be fun to work out with a kangaroo. You know how some people get a dog to run with?
Yeah.
To keep them company on their runs, to keep them safe often, for the females out there that typically...
Oh, this would be like a Secret Service kangaroo that protects
Yes.
you. Badass.
That also cuddles at the end of the night.
Well, that's my job. Back to koala. Strong koala for me.
All right, strong koala here. We'll get a koala. Okay, next. I think we've actually talked about this one before. This or that. Breathe underwater or be able to fly.
Okay. We have talked about this because I have recurring dreams about being able to breathe underwater.
Yeah.
And like drink underwater. And it's the coolest feeling. And every time I'm convinced I figure out how to do it in my dream. And then I wake up, I'm like, yeah, don't try that. So for some reason, I have a proclivity of dreaming about and wanting to breathe underwater.
underwater.
Yes.
I agree with that. I would rather breathe underwater. I have a fear of water. If I knew that I could breathe underwater, the fear would go away. I also believe we can already fly. I get on an airplane regularly.
Good point.
So would I want to be in the air like a bird? No. You know how many bugs would get in your face? My hair would be a mess.
Yeah.
We can already fly, right?
True.
In safe
we
quarters.
can go underwater too with scuba gear. And
also scares the crap out of me. zero desire to scuba dive. I don't understand it, and that's a big thing for me. If I do not understand it, then I don't probably want to experience it. Because what if it, like that, and a person engineered that? I deal with a lot of engineers on a regular basis.
People engineered airplanes too.
Oh no. We're not going to think about that right now. But it's, at least I can breathe. Yeah. Like I would sincerely rather die in a plane crash than underwater. I have dreams of drowning. I just, would rather, no, water is so powerful, it scares me.
Euphoric, but I don't know who figured that out.
Euphoric?
Yeah.
How would anybody know if you've drowned?
Makes no sense. Somebody made it up to make it less
romantic.
Scary? I don't know.
All right, moving on.
All right. Somebody's got dark.
Okay, this is a good one. This is a sweet one.
I can tell by the look on your face.
This or that. Be able to talk to animals or be able to speak every language.
I'm going to go easily talk to animals because as cool as it would be to speak every language.
Because I'm really an animal.
Aren't we all on some level? I believe the human experience, the more I've traveled and the more I've met people from different places and cultures, there's beautiful diversity in culture and people and a lot of nuance and different traditions and customs. But I think like the fundamental human experience, like baseline, is the same. And we're all tapped into that and understand that on some fundamental level. As an animal, I would be so curious to understand what their baseline consciousness and experience is and how close is it to ours or how different is it to ours. So being able to converse with animals would be, in my mind, like so much more incrementally insightful than being able to just communicate with other humans in a different language. Agreed.
I used to have dogs, and if I could have known, even if I could have known if they liked the flavor of their food, or any insight into like what they truly love to do beyond just like their tail wagging and them like looking excited, or even if they had a judgment call about my outfit, I would like to know. I would have liked to know. I would have liked it to be a more, I would have just liked to know what they were thinking. And yeah, I think that's a good one.
Agree.
Okay. Next. This is a good one. I know my choice.
Better than the last one?
Yeah.
Ooh. It's building up.
This or that. Have one wish granted today, or have 3 wishes granted in 10 years.
And of course, you can't hack this and say my wish is to have 3 wishes today.
You could hack it.
Well, I just did. Done. This.
Okay. I think I would have to go with today.
Burning the hands of mirth more than doing the bush.
I never understood those. I don't understand the things like that.
A wish today is worth more than 3 wishes tomorrow. Do you understand that? It's the same expression.
A wish today is worth
more than 3 wishes tomorrow.
Doesn't that just mean don't procrastinate?
Maybe.
I'm not really sure what that means, but I would go with a wish today because why wait?
Back to procrastination.
Yeah, I don't really know why, but I would rather just have a wish today. I don't know what wishes I want 10 years from now. I might not want to wish. I might get all my wishes.
Exactly.
You made this wish came true. Thanks, baby.
My pleasure, baby.
That was the last this or that.
That was the last this or that until the next this or that.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, that was a lot of fun.
Did you like this?
I loved it.
What's your feedback so far?
That was amazing.
This has been amazing.
And the fact that you literally sat down and had a coffee a half hour ago and came up with this whole format. And we just dove right in, and it's been so much fun.
This is also where our personalities and aptitude capabilities.
Yeah, because it would have taken me a whole day to like figure out and analyze and come up with a format for this.
Which is also
And
why
you're just like so creative and so decisive around what's going to work and so intuitive. Yeah, I think.
And likewise, Jonathan did all the behind the scenes for this, set it all up, made sure it was well lit, and all the production quality would be top notch. And that would have taken me 10 years and 3 wishes. So this is
said top notch in my mind before you did. Did you catch that? Were you
Mind
reading
reading.
my mind? Yes.
mind reading is currently happening. So we are very complimentary. Maybe one day we'll switch roles, just to switch it up and see how that works.
Let's try.
That would be amazing.
Shall
Let's
we wish
do
our-
it,
Let's
baby.
do it.
Right?
Right.
What were you about to say?
Yeah, not safe for podcast. Shall we wish our listeners well?
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
We will probably have more podcasts before Christmas,
We will. So,
but we do
we
wish you
a
well.
Merry pre-Christmas.
We wish you a Merry pre-Christmas, and we sincerely hope you enjoyed this, however it turns out. So thank you.
Thank you.